Greetings, sprint culture vultures. What you saying, yo? Hey, I didn't even really get to do any pushing and promotion for this episode, but it's all good. I'm on the road, as you can see to my right, left, right, left, right, left. The lovely, the beautiful, the gorgeous Jade Johnson. Jade Johnson. It's been a minute. It's been a while. How are
It
you?
has. It has. I'm okay. I'm not
My
bad. I'm not bad. You always say that. You always like try to.
my British accent happens to just come out when I'm talking to you. I don't know what it
Mhm.
is. Hope you don't mind. Mm.
How are you feeling though? Are you jet lagged or?
I'm feeling very Canadian.
Mm.
For those who don't know, I'm usually based in the UK right now. I made it home. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come home to go to the Canadian Championships. I'm just home. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, we're trying to get the show done from another place. There's been a lot of stuff happening. Just went to the London Diamond League. Uh, that was quite the experience. But we're gonna get to that in a second. But first, I just want to mention that this episode is brought to you by Heartbreak.Run. You know what, Jade? If you ever need some running apparel, you know, some jackets, some shorts, some t-shirts, some shoes. You know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to get
Spikes?
their run on. I'm getting to that. Everyone wants to get their run on, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's longer distances, half marathons, marathons. And oh yes, Heartbreak.Run does have the super shoes. You know what I mean by the super shoes? You want that extra bounce in every stride?
Yeah.
Heartbreak.Run is your place to go for your running apparel. Big up to one named Heartbreak.Run. Proud supporter of sprint culture. So check this out. There's been a lot of championships that have happened already. Um, this weekend is the Canadian Championships. I'm in Canada, but I'm not going to the Canadian Championships. Are you going to the Canadian Championships, Jay Johnson?
No. No. Unfortunately not.
You didn't have to
Unfortunately
make your
not.
face up like that. Why do I always call you by your full name when we're on
I
air?
don't know. I have no idea. It's better than some of the things you call me though, so it's okay.
That's come on. I didn't even like that, yeah. But you know what? Jade actually made me think about something earlier this week.
Mm.
Since we're speaking about the Canadian Championships, I haven't really. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is just a Heartbreak that run hoodie. You know what I'm saying? If you uh, if y'all are asking, but anyways, Jade made me think about the fact that I haven't really been speaking about Andre DeGrasse the way I usually have. Okay, I'm gonna address it now. This whole Andre DeGrasse situation. Okay,
Finally.
right. Finally, it's not a secret Andre hasn't been running well. Okay, and if he's not running well, there's really nothing to talk about. So that's why I haven't really been saying anything. Now, if we're talking about the latter part of the year, what I feel like he's going to do, and Jade, if you could see on your phone, keep an eye on the YouTube comments for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
If it's just a matter of what I think he's going to do down the line, let me tell you this, okay? These Canadian Championships this weekend,
Mhm.
he's going to have some fairly stiff competition. Aaron Brown's there, Jerome Blake is going to be there, and there's a new kid named Duan who's run 10-1 low. He's going to be pushed or pulled. But I'll tell you this, if Andre touches 10-0 in that 100 meters this weekend, Jade, you listening to me? If he touches 10-0, I am putting him on the podium. Now, if he happens to beat Aaron or is close to Aaron, because Aaron's running well, he's been pretty consistent. If he beats him or is in the vicinity, I'm inclined to put him on the podium. Now, he hasn't been running well, but I think the fact that he hasn't been running well, but he's continuing to run, is what makes him dangerous. He's not really worried about losing. He's not worried about being embarrassed, quote unquote. He's the type of runner that just doesn't give a shit. This is the type of thing that people need to be worried about. This is the type of dude that he's not regular. And this is what separates him when he gets in those moments that really mean something. That's one thing you got to look out for. Number two, Nia is rolling now. She didn't start her season that well, but now that she's rolling, I guarantee you he's got a bounce in this step, and he's like, well, shit, I ain't about to be walking around the house as the one that ain't pulling their weight on the track, yo. So I'm about to do what I got to do. I know he had a bounce in this step when he went back to practice simply because of that. So if he touches nine, if he touches 9-9, yo, you don't want to hear my talks. But I haven't counted Andre out, if y'all are wondering. I haven't. It just hasn't been nothing to say. And that's where I stand on that situation.
And he's not injured, right? He's good. He's healthy. He's
Nah,
just
he's good, yo. He's healthy. You just ain't running that, yo.
the thing.
It's really
The thing
10
is,
2's
for me,
fresh.
the thing is, for me, I feel like Andre is always one of those mans that will somehow find a way when it comes to a major championships. Like some athletes out there, they're just not the type of people that leading up to championships, diamond leagues, this, that, they're not interested. It does they don't have that switch. They don't know where it is. It's when the championships comes, that's when the switch, it's like, oh, there's the switch, and then they switch on. And I think that for Andre, that's what it's going to be. But with Nia running the way that she's running, and I'm not even gonna lie, like Nia's got a little, she's got a little, you see her posting a couple of pictures, she's getting a lot of attention, and I feel like she's feeling herself, which she should, because I mean, she is a rolling. So for me, I feel like you said, there's no chance that Andre. I feel like that's gonna be the switch. It's like, hold on a minute, she's gonna go and like roll out and bring home the medal, and I'm not. No, and I think that's what someone like Andre needs. As long as he's not injured, as long as there's no like last year COVID, this that, he's good to go. I feel like he's gonna pull something out.
Absolutely. I would advise him not to run the deuce as well, though. I mean, he just hasn't been running enough. But like I said, yo, he's wired different, yo. So if he's thinks he could go, he think he could go. So my advisory from the outside really means nothing. Yeah, I always back him. Y'all know that, but in that scenario, I'd kind of be like, hey, we got to run the two. The one is fairly wide open. No one's really separated himself. I feel like he would have a shot. If he
Mm.
lands in that final, he's got a shot. Oh, you know what just came to my mind, Jade? Um, Sha'Carri put a post in her Instagram story of Drake putting a
Mm.
line, her bar basically, where she said something Sha'Carri on the track. I can't remember the line exactly, right? But Drake could be a regular viewer of sprint culture, so if you're watching, dog, I just want to say something. I think it's a real disrespecting that you put Sha'Carri in a bar before you put Andre. Like Andre's a Toronto man. You're both from the six. Andre already been getting Olympic medals, been looking face to face with Bolt and having moments with Bolt, and been spoken about as being the next. And he's performed numerous times. And it's really from the ends. Like he's from where you're from, Rich. And the fact that you haven't put him in a bar and put Sha'Carri in a bar, Sha'Carri, I get it, but there's no way you should have put Sha'Carri in a bar before Andre. That's madness to me, yo. It's madness. I just wanted to address that. So
But I think it
continue to
says
support the
something,
show,
right?
dog. Drake,
I feel
continue to
like
support the show. I'm just saying.
I feel like it says something though. No, I
What's
mean,
it say?
I feel like in Canada, Andre's, and maybe around the world, he's like the nice guy. He's very nice, and
You think
it's
that's what it
like,
is?
yeah, but has he got that? Has he got that vibe where Drake's gonna want to put him in a? It's like, oh, maybe not.
He doesn't have the edge. He doesn't have that.
I feel like he does, but you don't see it, and that's the problem.
He definitely does, but I hope that's not the reason. Because I mean, I seen him do squits with Will Ferrell. Squits. I seen him do skits with Will Ferrell. I seen him do. I
Who?
don't know.
Andre?
They ain't doing. No, I'm talking about Drake. Like he'll do
Oh,
stuff with people who aren't swaggerific. I don't think that should be a prerequisite. Maybe look it. I, I'm just saying it would have been a much better look to just support and show off the home team, yo. Andre's been doing his thing.
listen. One thing I realized with Drake's rather go to the UK. He's in the US. He just don't care about Canada. So I mean, yeah. Well, anyway, let's see. Well, maybe if he goes to the Worlds this year and does his thing, maybe Drake will do a little line for him.
Maybe. But I mean, Nia's definitely looking like she's about to do something. Yo, Nia put a tweet out this week that we were discussing. That we actually
Yeah,
wanted to discuss tonight. I was hoping Marvin would
yeah.
be here. For those who are wondering, Marvin Bracy's going to be here tonight on the show as well. I didn't really do any promotion for the show today because there's been a lot going on and I was traveling. And
Mm.
Sprint Culture Vultures know that the show is on Wednesday, so you know what I'm saying. I should put it in the Instagram story just to remind. I will, but I'll actually do that as you break down your thoughts on this whole tweet that Nia put out, Jade.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I love Nia. I feel like Nia's doing her thing. I've been going on about Nia for. I mean, she doesn't need me to go on about her, but I think everyone has been talking about it more so lately after she had her third baby. But like for me, having one baby, two babies, that's crazy, and doing what she did. So to have a third baby and come back and do this, and I think everyone's been talking about the fact that she's a mom and like, you know, whatever now. So I love that. I love that side of her. You don't understand how hard it is to be a mother and train, try and compete, and she's number one in the world right now. This is crazy.
Madness.
However, there was a little tweet that kind of made me kind of be like, and I don't know how people are going to react to it, right? I do not know how people are going to react to it, but this was the tweet. So basically, she was basically saying that I think was it in Monaco? I think she ran when she ran the 12-3,
Mm-hmm.
number one in the world, whatever. So 4 of the girls from the US went under the meet record, which was 12:42, and I think so. It was Nia 12:30, Kenny Harrison 12:31, Lele 12:39, and Tia Jones 12:39. Right. So Nia puts out a tweet, and she basically was saying that she feels like. Actually, let me find the tweet. I have to find the tweet. Let me find the tweet.
Come on, run the tweet.
I have to run the tweet. Let me find this tweet. Hold on, where is it? Okay.
And I'm very interested in what the viewers are going to think of this.
I know. So let me. I found the tweet. So she tweeted 4 ladies ran under the meet record yesterday. So this is in Monaco. The meet record is 12:42. 4 ladies from the US ran 12:42 in a Diamond League event. How do we request more championship team spots? Because, and then she kind of did the huff sighing emoji. I saw that and I was kind of confused. I'm like, how many spots do you want? Like, you've got 4 spots. There's 4 spots available. If I don't know how many spots you want all 8 lanes. We know that the US are strong. They've got depth. I mean, there's like 340 million-ish people in the country. Like, even in the UK, we have like 70 million. So their depth is real strong. We know this. It's really kind of a bit unfair. Just that alone, the fact that the amount of people in your country gives you a better opportunity to have more athletes, right? The setup that they have, some countries don't have that. But we know that hurdling's always been really strong. Oh shoot, there we go. How many people do you really want in a world or Olympic final from the same country? To me, that's going to be super boring. I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, as you say that, and we got Marvin Bracy coming on the show. He's actually here. Let's get him on as we're discussing this. As you're saying that, I'm just thinking to myself, no, I wouldn't necessarily want to see a load of Americans in one race, but yo, Nia needs to just cool, yo, because like she already got past some people that she don't got to deal with no more. So I don't know why she's asking to have to deal with them again, yo. Like, you're through. Like, allow them. They're gone. You don't gotta worry about Lele no more. You don't gotta worry about who's that LSU girl? What's her name again?
Masai.
Lil Armstrong.
No, Masai made it.
Yeah, she made it.
Yo, pick up the one named Marvin Bracy. Yo. I ain't even got my gunshots to give you, Richard. You stay coming with the hoodies too, pause. You know what I'm saying? I respect that, yo.
I got my own stuff going on. Come on now.
Oh, yo, what is that? Oh, shit, that's tight, yo.
Yeah, that's my stuff. Somebody made it.
Oh, shoot, yo.
Yeah,
Pick up the one named Marvin
What's up,
Bracy.
Marvs? I call him
What's going on?
Marvs. You're
Yo, you heard what we're
right.
talking about right now, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, let me know your thoughts on that, Doug. Like, do you really feel like the USA, because of the depth, should have more spots to go to the World Championships?
I think it will only be fair if you give the same amount of spots to everybody else if they got the standard though, because people complain about the best not racing the best. So if we got 8 out of the top 11, shit ain't our fault. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't saying all 8 should go, but like come on, 3. And when you talk about when it comes to the women's hurdles, bro, come on, like at least make an exception for that event alone. Like I'll be fine if it's 3 for everybody else, and then y'all take like 5. You know what I'm saying? So we can really see something.
But if you see the
Because
first
outside
three,
of the U.S., you got Toby, you got Jazz, and then I mean they really fall off after that. Then it's the Americans. Every race you
So
see
check
is
this.
like 5
Let me
Americans.
let me ask you this, yo. After you make the team, right? And there's some people that could have made the team that didn't make the team. Do you really want to deal with them again?
No, you don't. Nah,
Exactly.
you don't.
So I
You
mean,
don't.
it's
Yeah.
just that's what I'm saying. Nia put the tweet out like, "Yo, we should have more spots." I'm saying to her like, "Yo, like you're there now, dogs. Like, allow it. You don't
But
need
hold on,
to really worry about them no
hold
more."
on, but hold on. That type of mentality though is why she is who she is because she don't mind seeing them again
True.
because she know what it's going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like she's like, hey man, the more the merrier. You know what I'm saying? She gonna do what she got to do. It's just it'll be nice to see somebody else, get an opportunity because if you run 12-3 and you get 4, it's like, come on, bro.
You guys ever watch the show The Apprentice?
I've never seen it before.
Okay, it's basically a business show Donald Trump had, where basically a bunch of business people are trying to be his apprentice. So they go through rounds of trying to do different tasks, and you survive. It's like Survivor almost, right?
Right.
So there's this one episode where there's this guy. He was a star. He was doing really, really well, and he won his task. But then at the end of the task, the other team is supposed to go in the boardroom where someone's going to get fired. So he won the task, but then he was like, you know what? I can come into the boardroom to tell you what happened and we could discuss everything that happened because I mean, I probably have some good insight on it. But he's through. He didn't even have to go to the
Right.
boardroom, right? Goes to the boardroom with the people that lost that are supposed to get fired. So Trump's talking to him, like asking him what he thinks about who he should be fired, and he's giving his input. But he thinks he's clear, he's free. And Trump was like, "Don't you think I should fire you?" So the guy was like, "Why? I did the task well." But he was like, "Yeah, but you were clear. Like you were out of here. You didn't have to come to the board. You volunteered to come to the boardroom, put yourself up to be fired. Why would you do that? It was actually a stupid thing to do." And fired him, Bregin. He fired him because you're clear. You don't. So really, if you're clear,
I
I
get what
get
you're
it,
saying.
having a
I get what you're saying.
mentality and
I get what you're
everything.
saying. Yeah.
But really, it comes down to like winning comes down to being smart as well.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
think
got
that
you. I
that's a
got you.
wise move.
It's just, bro. It's like that event for so long has been so stacked, and we've been robbed of so many. What I'm saying, just top hurdles matchups because we got 6 women that can make the team, 7 women that can make the team, and who could all possibly get on the podium, and 4 of them going to be at home watching this event. And yeah, okay, fair is fair. It's a sport. It's what we signed up for. It is what it is. But it's just kind of like wishful thinking. You know what I'm saying? I saw a
but
tweet actually about. Go ahead, sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
no, no, I was just gonna say, but like we see that in the Diamond League, right? I feel like the world champs or the Olympics, you want to see some variety. I do not want to see 4 or 8 of any country on the line.
I
I
got
feel
you.
like at the
Yeah, I don't want
Diamond
to see
League,
it.
everyone can go. You can have 8 women from the US. That's cool. I want to see that. I want to see the best of the best there. And yes, we want to see the best of the best, but we want to see a variety. We want to see people against each other. And to be honest, 3 people, there's only 3 medals. So like, if you're the 3 best, then
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like you should get on the
Hey,
podium.
no,
Then
no,
there's
no
not going to be
argument.
six
No
medals.
argument.
So
Yeah. No, hey, you listen.
I'm
You
just
you got
saying.
you. You right. That shit. You right. You're 100% right.
Hey, I got Malik in my ear talking about a comment. Who was the comment from, Malik? Just tell me in my ear one more time, yo. A lot of people are talking in the comments about what we're saying right now. Um,
He
I
talking
just
about us.
I remember if you go to oh, it's on screen now. So the comment was,
Oh,
I will say that it was encouraged allegiance. It has encouraged allegiance switching. 100%.
Mm, mm,
100%.
yeah. Yeah.
You see,
mm.
you seen Tiffany Porter became British real quick.
Real quick. Yeah.
Marvin
And a
became
sister.
Nigerian real quick.
Shit,
I
I
mean, not
well,
Marvin. No, Ray became Nigerian
real
real
quick,
quick.
real quick.
He
And
went
then
to 21 to me fast, yo. Like,
you mean
how much
23 and me,
y'all?
man?
What I say?
21
I
and
say
me, man.
21 to me.
Yeah, I
That was
don't know what that
fresh.
is.
Yeah, yeah. 23. Yo, so I mean, it's tough. I get it, but it's tough because y'all got resources, yo. Like y'all got people, y'all got resources. That's why it's so the level's so high because y'all know that a lot of people going for the spot, yo. So it raises y'all's level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to
You
think
you
about.
make
We
it
got to
easier.
run.
It might bring the level down, to be honest.
We got to. I'm saying we got to run, but we got to run 2 championships every season.
It's tough, man.
Like it's so it's so
It's
different.
tough, man. I feel it for y'all. I do
No,
feel it
but
for
do you
y'all.
know
I
what?
do.
No. I'm gonna say something, right? Because I come from a country where there's not really much depth. Like in the event that I did, there's not that much depth. Yeah, it's good that you can just focus on one championships, but to have crazy amounts of talent in your country, you can never switch off. So you're on, and I feel like at this stage, it's a lot to do with the mental side of it. So
Hmm.
I feel like at the end of the day, you guys know that there's no chance that you can switch off. You're on, and then you know you're
Yeah,
what if you get through the US, you know you've got a chance of a medal. That's it.
you
Like
gotta.
that's what
Yeah,
it comes down
yeah.
to. That's what it comes down
I
to.
mean, I told somebody that USA's was harder than World Champs last year. Like I got to Worlds and I was like,
Mm.
oh, I got this. Like I'm good. Like I ran every round. Like I was gonna win. But USA's was a
Yeah.
lot more. It was a lot more stressful than the World Championships. But what I'm saying, my point though, is that we have to go through that. So I got to take my body all the way up here, and then figure out a way to kind of come back down, but not too far down, and then do it again. So it's not like it can't be done because we do it every year. It's just what I'm saying.
So let me ask you a question. Do you feel it sounds like when you run in the worlds or the Olympics, right, and you get to the semi-final, sometimes the semi-final you got to run it's way
The
harder
semifinal at
than
the
the actual
semifinal at
final.
Worlds was
It's the
harder than
stress.
the semifinal at Worlds was the hardest race I ran the entire season, and I
Hmm.
don't know why.
And
For
then
Like
real.
and then you got
it
to come
was the
back for the
hardest race I
final,
ran.
right?
You got 90 minutes.
For real.
You
Yeah.
gotta like
For real.
recalibrate and like. But once I made it through, like I'm also peeping. We watching times in the back, so I'm in the last semi. So I see Trey go, and he running through, and he run like 997. And I'm like, all right, hold on, but you ran 989, like throwing the peace sign at the camera last year. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday. So I'm like, okay, hold on, all right, 997. You pressing a little bit. Okay, cool. Fred comes, he execute. He ran like 1002. I'm like, yeah, that 9-7, I took it out of him. And then
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie though, I relaxed at the end because I thought I won. And then what's his name? Oblique Seville. Oblique Seville ended up winning my heat, but he ran like 990, and I ran 993, and I was like, damn, that felt like a 10 run. Like I ain't really turning on like that. Like I'm good. Like I got this. Like if I just go do the same shit, excuse me, if I go do the same thing, 90 minutes, I'm gonna win this race. And I did it for 97 meters.
97 meters.
97. Ugh.
Yeah, just hey, bro. You're all official now. You know what I'm saying? You're official now, man.
Respect. Appreciate
Turn
respect.
respect.
Marvin, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about USA's. This is your first sighting since USA's, man.
Yeah.
I had you winning.
Shit, I
I
had
had
you
you
winning.
winning. I know you did. But no one really knows exactly what happened. I've heard stuff here and there. But you're here. So it wasn't um you see
I think that it was just a hiccup. Like I can't explain. I don't know really. I don't really know what happened. Like I just lost a step and I almost fell. And I remember thinking like I'm about to fall in front of all these people. Like what the hell? Like what's going on? And I think I just kind of over rotated trying to go and win the heat. And I just did something uncharacteristic. But it's something that's never happened to me. Like not even in practice. Just no injury, no nothing. Which is why I still showed up in Poland and Budapest because we had already committed for those. So I still had to go and do what I had to do, but I was not hurt. Like I
And if
almost wished I was. Like you never want to wish injury on yourself, but If it was an injury, like it would, I could say, okay, like I got injured and this is what happened. But I think that only thing I would have changed about like the entire setup. The only thing I would have changed about it was like I would have ran New York. Like I don't think I should have
Mm.
took like a month off to like just kind of like train. You know what I'm saying? That shit sounds good, but when you're running good, and you in shape, you still kind of want to see it on the clock. Like it's nothing like racing. And so if I could have did anything different, like I would have just raced that race just to go out there. Even if I would have ran 10-0, it's like okay, I'm going to USA's with a 10-0. I did it last year. I ran in New York 2 weeks before USA's. I ran a season's best of 10:02, and then 2 weeks later I equaled my personal best and ran 9:85. So I should have stuck to the same plan, but I didn't.
Mm.
Yeah, like that's why it's so like but it took me like a solid like 2 weeks to really like process like that really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't like I that's the reason why I didn't run. In the next round. Like I never won a first round of a championship. So you know,
And it just shows you because when you look at the race, it was like I remember we were watching it right, and cinema. It was like, what happened? What just happened? It looked like a high step, and then a
yeah,
misstep, and then
just
you
so.
tried to get
Oh, go
back
ahead.
on, but then everyone's already gone at that stage.
Yeah. Now
That's
I
the
got
thing
I got
about the
some
100.
pictures that one day I might post, but like the lower like half of my leg, like my entire leg was like straight like at a point in time. Like but not at like a 45-degree angle. Like my entire leg was straight and that never has like happened to me. So I'm looking at like why would I do that? Like what is that? Like why would I reach like that? Like I don't have to. I was clearly in first or second. Like I could see Christian out of the corner of my eye, but he was like
Mm.
2 or 3 lanes over, so I couldn't see how far he was. So I'm like, okay, like I'm somewhere. I cleared Terrence Laird. There was somebody else in front of next to him. I cleared him, so the only person I can see is Christian. So I'm like, okay, I'm in a good spot. Just kind of like stay here, and I guess I got greedy.
Were you were in one of the outside lane, like lane 8, or
I was in lane 8. Yeah,
was
I was
it
the most outside person.
lane 8? I mean, sometimes that I feel like sometimes that's good because you're staying out of trouble, but sometimes it's like when you're not in the mix as well. Like if you're, I guess if you're trying to see where everyone is, then and you're like and you're on the outside, I feel like sometimes that can make you overstride maybe, or because the thing is it was just such an odd, like you said, like an odd thing. You've never done that. You've
Now it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's zero excuses. Like, I mean, I came in with a season's best of 9:93, and the way I assess it is, if I went in there and ran the fastest race I ran this season, I win the race. I win the whole thing. I win the whole thing. And
mm,
so that's
Right.
kind of like the most troubling part because it's like, damn, in the easiest stadium to run damn near in America outside of Austin, Texas, if I would have just ran the best race I ran this entire season, like I win the whole thing. I legit had a shot to win the whole thing and make the team and do whatever I need to do. So that's what really sucks the most. Like now, if somebody would have came out there and ran 9-7 again, then it's like, all right, that's different.
mm.
I would have had to be on my A game, but I just had to be the best I had been this far this season. So it was never like no excuse. It was just kind of like getting back to the drawing boards. And I've been here before. I missed a team in 21, and then I went on to have arguably one of my best seasons and the most consistency
Mm.
I've ever had. So just about getting back to the drawing boards and finishing strong because I mean it's gonna happen. It happens to the best of us.
Do, I was like kind of thinking about what you were saying earlier. Do you feel like you were saying that you didn't run New York and you maybe felt like you should have, right? So this year, obviously, things have changed a little bit since last year. Do you feel like the pressure of, we've been talking about it all year, like people performing and, social media, and you'll just get attacked. Like people would just be like, oh my God, they're running. Do you feel like that played a little bit of part? Because, the mental side at this level is so important. And I know that I think even like Trayvon was like, I'm off social media. Didn't he like get off of all the social media because
Yeah, he
didn't want to
blacks out.
didn't want to see none of that
Yeah.
stuff, right? I feel like that,
Well, from
the
well
pressure, you know.
for me personally, I mean, even when I've had like I ran my best times, my best races, like nobody really until this year, nobody had really picked me to win. They didn't have me on a podium last year, and I almost won the whole thing. So for
Mm,
me, like I welcome like you have like if you're gonna welcome like the praises and the love and the attention and when you're running good and everybody's kind of like me
mm,
riding you, if you're gonna welcome that, you gotta welcome the slander. That just it's a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? And I've been I've been in an arena where it gets much worse. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just more so like I mean I ran I went to Africa and I lost. I ran 10:03. I went to New York. I lost. I ran 10:03. I'm like, okay, at least I'm 10:03. And then 4 days later, well, yeah, 4 days later, I jump on a plane, fly straight to Paris, 10 hours, jump off the plane, and run 9 seconds back to back. So it was like,
Mm,
okay, like it's still there. You just got to execute when you have to the most. And I mean, I run my best at championships. So I honestly I probably went in a little too cocky on like some. Oh, I got 3 rounds. I'm gonna warm up. I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna get through, and I'm gonna make this
mm,
team. And I may probably just relax too much. You know what I'm saying? And thought that this is gonna be mine. It's mine. The only person that had beat me, what I'm saying, going into all of that was Fred, and he wasn't there. Well, in the last 2 championships, the only person that had beat me was Fred, and he's not running. So why
mm.
why why would I not win this race? Why is this not my race to win?
You feel like you're more comfortable under the radar?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier because it's like like I said, it ain't about like the social media and what people say. It's just more so like you ain't even gotta like you don't even think about what I'm saying, like there is no pressure. Like you don't think about like
Mm.
how you have to perform. You just go out and perform. Like whether you win or lose, you go out and you run the race you run, and then you just kind of sort it out from there.
I remember one time Maurice was saying to me, Maurice Green was saying to me that it's easier to chase. It's easier to like when you're the number one or when you're the one that everyone's going for. It's like the hardest thing because you've got no one to. You're just running from everyone. Whereas actually, when you've got that motivation to actually chase someone, it's a different level of mental kind of motivation that will really get you there. But when you're there, it's like that fear of like, okay, I've got to stay here, or I don't want to lose, or I don't want to. And I feel like that has a big effect on so many athletes. And even though you
No,
said like, you take the praise, really, it takes a lot to mentally to take that.
no. Listen, you just. It's like I said, it just comes with the territory. You gotta deal with it. Now, what I will say though is like what did change for me drastically is my living situation. Like it was a lot easier because it wasn't like I said, it really wasn't about. Well, I'm standing at the world champ finish line, or the world champ start line last year, or the USA start line last year, and if I told you how much money I was making, you probably laugh. And then on top of that, crippled with the fact that like this is the last year of my contract, so and I got a baby on the way that nobody knows about. So I'm sitting here at the line like I don't have no choice. And then
Mm,
after much deliberation, like everything, shit, we got the deal of a lifetime. We got a really great deal. And so I can say
mm,
like I had to shift my hunger. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to like find out like okay, now it's not about money and living comfortable. Like my kids, both my kids in some form of daycare. They out of the house from 8 to 4. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is taken care of. Like we're good. We get appearance fees now. Like everything has changed. In a snap of a finger. So now you have to find out. You have to really dig deep and find like why do I want to win now? Like why do I want this
Mm.
as bad as I wanted it bad last year because I wanted my daughter to come into a good situation. But now why do you want
mm,
it? And for me, this whole even leading into next year and the years after that, it was about getting on top of the podium. Like I've watched like some of these guys come in, do what they got to do, and get on top of the podium. Get on the podium is one thing. That's just nice, yes. But obviously, we all want to win. I've seen my
mm.
counterparts win, so I just feel like I got to get up there before my career's over.
Yo, were you surprised Cravant won though?
Yes, I had a pick. I picked him to make the team. I think me you actually me you talked and I picked him to
Yeah,
make the
yeah,
team,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I did not have him winning. I did not have him winning.
I didn't have him winning, dog. I didn't have him in my top three only because I didn't know how he'd be able to handle
Yeah,
the
same.
rounds and stuff and the heat. And Christian, I just felt like he was gonna slide on the team, yo. Um,
Yeah.
what were my picks again? I had you, Trey, and Christian,
Damn,
and then
you went one
yeah,
for
yeah,
three.
both y'all let me down, yo.
You
Y'all
went
better
one
make
for
up for
three.
it next year, yo. Just, goddamn, yo.
Man, you went
Anyways,
one for three.
I was getting heat on social media, yo. So this
Mm.
motherfucker don't know the fuck he talk about
Yeah.
spring
Then
culture.
I mean I don't think people know, but like Raina couldn't come to like the USA champs. So
Yo,
because of
that's a
like the
big issue
USA,
though.
yeah,
That's a big
it's
issue for you
yeah.
though.
For me
Like really thinking about
personally,
it, like, go ahead.
so okay, so out of out of the fastest races I've ever ran, Raina was at like two of them. maybe 2 of them. So I've never really like when I ran my season's best this year, he wasn't there.
Mm.
So like I don't use that as an excuse. It's not an excuse, but I'm just saying people don't know that like he wasn't there. So like in those situations, like but think about you see somebody like shit, you see Sha'Carri, you see Dennis, you see Noah, you see Lance. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we would have liked those eyes on us at a championship at least, but I mean I ran plenty of races without them, so that's not the reason it happened. It was just it's on me. Everything that happened was on me, and I even told him the same thing. Like this is not it's not on you. He actually had a medical like a health condition thing going on, so he had a reason for not
Mm.
being there. But you know that can kind of affect
It plays a factor though, because
Oh,
you're
for
not going
sure.
to find anyone in a world championship final that isn't there with their coach
Actually, he
in the
wasn't there at
100.
World Indoors last year or USA Indoors last year. It's indoors, yeah, I know, but
No,
yeah, we
just
should
No,
we
but
should
I think it's
I rate indoors. You know, I rate indoors. I do, but I'm just
we
saying,
on the
like,
same page, brother. On the same page.
yeah, I think that once you're outside, like, it's just a little bit hotter, dog. Like, you
Yeah,
want everything pushing you. You want every tenth and hundredth that you can get in any way, dog.
you're right.
So,
You're 100% right. Yeah.
yeah, I think it plays a factor. So what were you gonna say, Jade?
No, I was just gonna say, like, the mental, like, we've been talking about the mental side of it makes a difference. If you're seeing all your competitors and they've got all their coaches, I think you just wish your coach was there because there's those mind, those thoughts. You just want to be able to be focused, but it's hard to do that if your coach is not there. That gives you that kind of reassurance, but I feel like it's also really important. And like you said, I'm not saying that you didn't, you're saying it wasn't an excuse, but I feel like having the coach there definitely makes a difference. But I feel like you need to be able to perform without your coach because you never know what's going to happen. You never know
You
what's going
really,
to happen.
yeah,
Like what's happened there, you
you can't
just
prepare
don't
for
know.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, it happens. It happens to the best of us, man.
Yo, I was just something I was thinking about. Oh, before I go on though, what you're asking about this? Oh, it's nothing. It's just from Heartbreak.Run. If you're interested in any kind of running apparel, gear, shoes, yes, those bouncy shoes, absolutely. Flats.
Do they do those?
Heartbreak.Run is your place to go for all your running apparel. Big up to one named Heartbreak.Run. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
Do they? I was going to say, do they do those Faith Kipyegon shoes? Because
You know what?
we need some of those.
Look it. Okay, look
Listen,
it.
Marvin, I think you need some of those. So everyone needs some
Man,
of those shoes because the way this
I
chick
need to
is
say
running right
something.
now, those shoes look.
Yeah. It affects
I'm
the
not saying it's
distance
because
way
of the
more than it
shoes.
does the sprints. It affects the distance way more than it affects the sprints because that's laps upon laps upon laps. And look, man, big up to one named Faith, but I'm just saying, like, her shoes, they look like they got a bit extra. Marvin, are your
What did
shoes
you turn up?
customized? Are yours customized? So you don't have this. I'm just saying, because some people have the customized
hell no.
boyoings, So you just have regular. And I think
Standard.
that's, yeah. I think that's a little bit different. You got some people that, well, the left foot is made this and shaped in this
Yeah,
way, and that's certain,
I
and
ain't,
the right foot
I ain't,
has this,
see.
this,
Okay,
this, this.
had I won world champs, we might be different story.
Okay,
But yeah,
okay.
if I crossed the line in first, I probably would have got some. Yeah, no, that's just the game.
I was thinking about this, and I haven't spoken about this, right? Isn't this like a good year for Marcel to kind of slip back into prominence?
I saw you. I saw you say something about that, and I
No,
actually.
I didn't
I
say anything
mean,
about Marcel. Not Marcel.
oh,
I have said nothing about Marcel. I said something about Andre slipping back in.
okay, okay. No,
But
I
Marcel, a lot of people think he's ended his season. He hasn't. He's just getting
no.
ready for Worlds.
I mean, this is the perfect like opportunity, like you said, fly under the radar.
He
Nobody's
knows
really
you're
worried
not
about
there.
him. Yeah,
Medalists,
he's this,
two of the three medalists aren't there. Okay,
and then think
he
about
mentioned
nine,
oblique. Oblique's
nine.
not. Is no oblique? Oblique made it. Oblique made it. Oblique made
I
it.
think I believe made it. He had third. Yeah.
Oblique made it. He slid in. Yeah, but I don't think that there's anybody there that's truly intimidating to him except for Fred.
I mean, it ain't even got to be about like the people. Like, okay, so as of right, well, Fred ran what 9-7 at USA Champs last year. So you
Right.
knew going into the championship, like, okay, to probably beat this dude, I'm gonna have to be somewhere under like 982. It's
At
gonna take
least you're
982
gonna
at
have to
best to
be.
be like
Yeah.
he's running back to back 9.7s. It ain't like he did it spotty. He went 983, 976, 977. So you know you got to run fast, and he knew that last year. So coming into this year, like 995 won USA champs. So and then what 997 just won a couple diamond leagues. It ain't like you got to run blazing fast. He ain't got to be in PB shape to come and win. So yeah, I think that this would be a great time for him to come back and try to make some shake,
We better put those
especially going
Nikes
into
back
next
on.
year.
That's all I'm saying.
I think it just, I think it just complements
You
his
know,
stride better. I'm just saying,
I'm just
like,
saying.
if they're just gonna have to understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just gonna have to get it that they
Man,
And
just
I
may
tell
now,
you
have to step
this.
the
I
game up.
tell you this. I tell you this. I feel like Fred needs to put those Nikes back on too. I'm just saying.
now Fred said it ain't the spikes, man. It's the person in him.
I'm just
That's what
saying.
Fred
It's
said,
those
yo. So
spikes. He said
he
what?
he's gonna have to show us though. He's gonna have to he said it's not the spice, it's the person in him.
Oh, well, okay. But
Well,
maybe.
he better get in him
But
soon, yo, because we ain't seen
I
him in
would
him yet.
listen. I would retract that statement, and then I'd put the Nikes on, and then I'd go and do what I did last year
Yo,
because I don't know if those shoes are working for him. I know they specially
it's a
custom made
question.
them
It's a
for
good.
his foot.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question.
It's just a
I
question.
feel like I do feel like Fred is in the driver's seat right now, though. Shondell Watson said Jade got it. Someone agrees with your comment wholeheartedly. Okay, man. Fred has a lot of people questioning. You know what Fred had? Fred had the intimidation factor where he didn't have to run fast to win. People were running bad against him because Maurice had that, yo. He didn't have to run fast all the time
All the
because
time.
people would change their race patterns and be thrown off to run against him, and he had that. The 200 is a separate event, but I think people seeing him lose that 200 kind of took away from that. Like, whoa, this guy lost. Like, okay, he could be
I mean,
beat.
the one they lost
Mm,
is that he didn't make the team, probably.
That too. But just seeing him behind people, it
Because I mean,
changes
he
people's
made it last
perception.
year. So I mean, well. I mean, I didn't think he was going to. I mean, I had Ariane winning the 200, but I did think Fred was going to make the team. Like it's just, I mean, the way Young Buck worked the curve, man. Pause. It's hard to beat him. Like it's only really one dude that's really out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's Noah. So outside of that, like I didn't think he was going to beat him, but I did think he was going to make the team. But I think seeing him not make the team, probably people saw him as human. You know what I'm saying? Because like she just said
Exactly.
earlier, it's easier when you know when you really still trying to prove yourself. You still trying to prove yourself. Oh, I'm on the best. I'm the best. And now it's solidified. You are the best. Okay, you won both championships. You went undefeated. You're the best. No argument here. Till you get beat, you are the best. And then, like you said, once people start cracking that armor a little bit, it's like, okay, you do bleed like I do. And then people
Right.
start to believe it. And
Right.
then, you know,
But him being vulnerable now, doesn't that make him dangerous again?
extremely.
Because people are questioning him. I think that this is going to put him back in a position where he's going to be like, for real? Okay. It's very interesting. It's too early for my picks.
It,
I
I
feel
mean, it really could have.
I feel like Fred losing maybe made him more dangerous, but I feel like it made everyone else realize he's human. Because I'm not gonna lie, the way this man's been talking, and we love it. We love it. Don't get it twisted.
We did. We did.
When's the he kept putting out those tweets, and it's the way he's like greatness, baby, and you're like, okay, yeah, greatness, baby, yeah,
Dude, every
greatness.
time I refresh
You
my
know?
damn Twitter early in the morning, I see the greatness. I just feel like,
You
oh,
say greatness. Listen, he got
Yeah.
into everyone's mind. I was believing this, and so now I'm like, oh, okay. And the thing is, for me, if you're gonna go like that, you have to do something. You can't. It was that believable that you have to then back it up. That's otherwise it's like, and now maybe he might come back. That's great, but I still feel like it's like, it's not. It just
it's
doesn't have
just
the same just the same feel. If he
well,
would have gone and done it, crazy.
personally, as I mean, obviously, one of the athletes, but now I'm just gonna be a spectator. I mean, as a spectator, for worlds, like I think that it makes it more edgy. It makes it more like, okay, I really want to see is Fred back on that the pre USA world champ Fred from last year, or do somebody got an active chance to come in here and somebody else step on top of the podium? Like you just don't know. It could literally go any way because he could be working on something big, or somebody could upset him. And regardless, like it makes it makes the drama like that much more suspenseful.
Hmm.
Because obviously, like we know when Boat walked into a championship, we knew what was gonna happen. Like it's okay, we just want to see how fast he's gonna run. It's Boat versus the clock.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't a fan of that.
Until it was like 2015 when everybody was like, okay, this the Gatlin Boat show we've really been waiting on, and then he went in there and pulled it off, just like we saying, oh
Right.
dang, is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? And then he goes in there and does it.
Mm, 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 mm. Well, I just want
Well,
to say, just slightly changing the subject slightly, because earlier I was looking at the chat, it's going crazy. I just was seeing, we were talking about something, everyone's talking about Lyles and Tobago and that race the other day. That race, I feel like for me, I was like, the way that Noah did and then it was only after I sat down, I'm like, did Tobago just run 19.5? This 20-year-old just run I was like, no. This guy ran 19.5, and what Noah did was great, but the way Tobago came through, it was just
it was dangerous.
crazy.
I don't know if Noah expected him to be that close, but
Nah.
I've never seen anyone move on Noah like that in the latter
Me
part of a 200.
Mm-mm.
It's
Well,
like he
and
came
think
off a
about though.
turn and then he moved on him. He moved on Tobogo and the Tobogo moved again back on him. I've never seen anyone close on
Bro,
Noah
and like
like
to
that in
think
a
about it
deuce.
though, in like a 9-10 day span, Tobago ran like 44.7, 993, and then like 1950, like in like a 9 day span. Like that's very hard to do.
Mm.
Yeah, we put a
And then
Jade put a tweet up of him his stats over the past year. So obviously over the last 9 days that was
since February.
spectacular what he did. Yeah, but February back in February he ran that 300, which is
Oh,
absolutely
that was
nasty.
Yeah.
that,
So he's proven to be one of the most complete sprinters in history. But you know what? I think I think he should focus on the four. He could run 42 seconds. He's not going to beat Noah, man. He's not going to beat Noah, and I can't see him winning the 100. He'll be up there. He'll run well, but he could dominate the four. He could run 42 mid, which would be absolutely disgusting. He has all the tools. He's speed wise. Wade can't match him. It's not even close, dog. So if he ran four, he's pushing that event to a place it's never been before, ever, and could keep that record for a long time. What y'all think about him just focusing on the four?
I'll let you go.
no,
Go, Jay.
I no,
No,
no. You
you'd
don't think
rather
he
him
can
just
challenge Noah?
battling, trying to.
Like you don't think that? What are you talking
He
about?
ain't gonna
He's
beat
young. He's
Noah.
90. He's 20. Wait, I'm not talking about this year. I'm not. He's 20 years old. Noah's how old? Noah 26, 25. Are you? Are
25.
you it's not even about Noah. It's going to be between him and Arian. Like that's where because obviously what's Arian 19 or whatever he is. That's the
Hmm.
crazy little. But Arian to me it's been a bit quiet this year. I know he's run some fast times, but like I don't know if like that little incident with Noah last year scared him. You know that little on screen where Noah just and then he got kind of that 18-year-old
I think he's waiting on
energy.
Noah. Noah's gonna bring the
Yeah.
best out of him. Noah's gonna bring the best out of him. Pause. Yeah, hundred
I mean,
percent.
as for Tobago, I actually I got in an argument with a close friend of mine about this, and I was saying like I was like, dude, I think he's actually more so a 2-4 dude. Now, obviously, he's going to run 100, and like you say, he's going to run well because it's not a lot of pressure on him out there. He just got to go out there and execute, and he might can pop one. But I think like 200 wise, like he's going to be very scary for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? 19, if he's running like that, man, like it's not a lot of people that's gonna beat him. So even if he's not beating Noah, it's ain't too many people gonna keep him off a podium. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I don't know about focusing on the 400 because it's a harder event to train for, but I think him specializing in the 200 and then being able to run 100. So it's like Dre. Dre specialized in the 200, but was able to run, the one and keep himself close enough to always, second, third, somewhere up in there, or third place. He get on the podium. And I think that just based off what he looks like right now, he looks like a better 200 guy than a 100 guy. Because I mean, 1950 and 992 don't add up. They just don't.
They don't.
It's
See what
crazy.
Fred was able to do. Fred was able to like figure out that first 30, 40 of the race, where even if we're still slightly in front of him, we're not in front of him by not enough for him to make up. And obviously that's something that Noah's searching for, like that 30 meter, like that, that 30 to 40, keeping yourself when people go to accelerate for real and get away from you. Like, can you keep yourself close enough to strike? And just obviously, as of lately, like that has been the case, which is crazy because he ran 651 indoors. If he comes to 651 outdoors, not a lot of people gonna be too far ahead of him.
So you think Noah got a shot? I'm very
So again,
interested in what you would think. You think Noah got a shot in that 100?
in 100, I'll give him a puncher's chance, but I don't have him winning. No, I don't have him winning 100.
A
No,
puncher's chance, Bridget? Everyone has a puncher's chance.
that's my point. Like, I don't have him winning it, but I mean, I'm just going to prove. I'm just
I
going
don't.
off
I
of
don't. I don't have him winning it either. I don't have him winning it either.
they got a chance
But
though.
he has a chance. He has a chance. I
Yeah,
just feel like it's
yeah,
gonna work against his 200.
Say it again.
It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna work against his 200. Going through the
Yeah,
rounds of the 100.
I mean,
It's gonna be
definitely can
hot,
work. Yeah.
yo. He,
I, I personally feel like I don't know. I feel like he's got a little something with the start up here. That's like I can't get over the video that I saw that you put out. I feel like you spoke about it already, Anson, like last week or whatever. But that video that I saw with him and who's that guy? That biomechanics guy?
yo, that
Ralph
guy,
May.
Ralph.
Ralph May.
Yeah, you
I
did
love
you
Ralph
see?
May.
You work with Ralph
Do
before?
you?
Yeah, I've been working with Ralph since like 2013.
Really?
Yeah. Remember, I was with Lance Brahman in 2013 from 2013 to
Yeah.
2016, and he used to come down all the time.
So they've always worked in a tandem, Brahmin
Not
and
like
and
not like
Ralph.
exclusively. Like he goes to other groups and stuff, but he would come to our group like 2 3 times a year and like do testing and stuff with us, and let us do like the blogs and the
Okay.
fly-ins and stuff like that, and kind of like analyze your run and like compare it to like a stick figure that's absolutely perfect, and what he's doing and what you should be doing and just kind of stuff like that. It's kind of cool.
How much he cost, yo?
I have no idea. We wasn't paying for it.
It looks expensive
It's definitely expensive.
because
They come and do a whole setup.
that's what I'm saying. They bring all the machinery. They bring all the and it was
I
only a
just
video where we saw a little bit of it. I didn't see anything revolutionary in the video. You know what I'm saying? But
I just don't feel like some athletes should be doing that right before. If it's like do that at some other point, or the coach. I feel like the athlete shouldn't be part of it. Like I'm very much about the athlete being involved, but like in situations like that, especially if you know the athlete's a particular type of athlete, which Noah seems like he's a particular type of athlete in terms of like you can just see he's a perfectionist. And if something's not going right, it's going to really get in his mind. And I feel like the fact that he can't get this start is really getting in his mind. So I don't know how he's going to do and what he's going to do at Worlds in terms of with his start because it was not good the other day either.
yeah,
I didn't see the video, but I know the setup you're talking about, and like you said, he is somebody. I mean, I've trained with him before, so he is somebody that is like very detail oriented and like takes practice serious and is trying to apply the changes. But for him, he when it comes to like that start, I mean, it all looks good when you by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Till you step next to somebody and you know they're finna go, and you gotta relax. And that's really what it came down to. Like, but I told somebody again. I argued. I forgot who it was, but I argued indoors after Boston when I said like the 60 was great. Like the time was great, but he ran 651 from behind, and what I mean by that is he was a meter and a half back at 30. He closed well, but he pushed for that 651. If he was with Trey step for step, then I'd have been like, okay, yeah, now there's an issue because there's still a divide at 30 meters that he made up. But I mean, there was also Trey's opener. So okay, Trey worked on a thing or two, and then look what happens a week later. He runs 642. So now they're running back, and he's now a whole tenth of a second in front of you. Granted, you run the same time. It don't work like that, but had he ran something like that, then it would be different. But he's like you said, it's a start, and I mean,
Mm,
he can figure it out. He can hit it. He's running 651. He can still get there, but it's about can you do that when it matters the most.
mm.
I heard the John Drummond is really expensive as far as getting your start fixed. But I think if I was going to spend some money on my start, I would go with John, yo. Cause I've seen what he could do out the blocks. Now I understand it's a matter of setting up your race, but
Let me ask you a
even
question.
position wise,
Let
he
me ask you a
he
question. Right?
just his start looked really really good.
Let me ask you a
So
question though. Right. So, and this can go for both of y'all. Name me like the best starters that you know. Like just
in
0 to 30.
history,
You got just. I mean, you ain't got to go all the way back to like the '60s, but just give me a couple.
John Drummond is one. Ben Johnson
Yep.
is the
Yep.
best
Ben Johnson is
ever.
definitely. Yeah. Go ahead.
But mechanically, you can't duplicate that though, so it's tough.
I
But
know, but
that's
keep going.
definitely
Mm-hmm.
um,
Gat.
Anson Henry.
Oh,
Um,
Gatlin.
Gat gets Asafa Powell.
Zafa Powell. Maurice Green.
Yeah,
Mm.
Maurice Green,
Andre Kaysen.
Andre Kaysen.
Yep.
Um,
Christian
who
Colvin.
else? Oh shit, he's up there, up there. Christian's up there, up there.
Yeah. Okay. Christian Coleman. Trayvon
Yeah,
Romero. Right.
Mm.
Trayvon,
He's a world
consistency
indoor champ.
wise,
He's a world indoor champ.
he is, he is. Well, I think even Trey would be like, nah, I ain't got the best. You talking
No,
about
no, no,
to
no. I ain't
30, or you
saying
just
that he
talking about
has
to
to be
10?
the best. I'm talking about like from 0 to 30,
He's
like
up there.
guys that you
Trey,
know.
if you win World
Okay,
Indoors, you're up there. You're up there.
but
Yeah.
my point being, like think about. Okay, I ran 644. I would put myself in there. My point being,
Marvin
right.
Bracy.
But my point being, like it's not for everybody's not like I don't care who you work with. Like you're not finna just turn into one of those guys. Yeah, it can be serviceable,
Exactly.
but you're not going. I don't care how much you work. Like it's not finna like
That,
it's just
let's
not. Like
get
we
a
talk,
little
somebody said,
long
listen.
now.
I mean, that's 10 guys that we just named out of like hundreds of runners we know. So we're still talking about the one percenters.
Mm.
Everybody can't be a one percenter. I'm not saying that he can't work on it. His starts not gonna get better. As you
No,
work on something, it's gonna get better. But you talking about people that do something just natural, like they wake up out of bed and they just it's like that. Sue as well. Yeah,
Sue.
I
We
see
forgot
Sue.
about Sue. Yeah, Sue's a
But
big
I'm
one.
just saying, my point being though, like you get
Pause.
somebody, those people do that naturally. Like that's just who they were made to be. Everybody's not gonna be like that from 0 to 30. It's just not gonna happen. I don't care how much you work at.
And that's Noah. Noah just doesn't have that. I don't feel like he has that
There's
start,
a twitch.
and I feel. Yeah, and I feel like to be in the mix for the 100 like that, and I'm not saying he can't because we know he's run. What has he run, like 9.8 or something? Has he run 9.8 something? Is it
86
PB?
is his PB.
86,
86.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we know. I mean, but that's the end. That's like how it's transitioning in
Yeah.
the
He
end.
closed in
He
that
comes
race. Yeah.
through like a train, but he can't start. And I feel like really, are you gonna want to always come back from behind? I mean, it gives you a little bit more motivation, like we were saying earlier, but you want to be able to be in the mix with those men. And is it for me? Is it worth doing that when you've got Tobogo, Ariane, all their mans in the 200 a couple days later?
Waiting.
Mm,
Waiting.
It'll be a show for
I
sure, man.
said I Noah's not. I don't feel like Noah's gonna have a good start. I feel like he should just focus on his strengths at
I mean,
this,
no, I'm saying he
especially at this
could. He
stage of the
could.
season.
He well, okay. So think about okay. I think I told you this story before. It was like 3 or 4 days before Prefontaine in 2021. I watched Trey and Trayvon and DeGrasse do starts together, and Trey was putting like 2.5 meters on him to 30, and I was like, this is after the Olympics, right? So I'm like, okay, Trey finna get his get back. Like he finna go in here and drop something. And I was at Tyson's house watching the race, Tyson Gay house watching the race, and Tyson was like, man, 975 to win this race. I was like, I don't know about all that. And I'll be damned, 973 won the race, but it was Dre, and he got out with the pack, and I was like, huh? It can happen. Like it can happen. But the chances of it happening when it needs to the absolute most.
That's adrenaline, though. Andre, he doesn't really stress over his start, yo. I don't think Noah should stress over his start. It's just
Okay.
you're not a starter, dog. Adrenaline will get you in the mix.
But it's like when you know that like you gotta go, it changes something. It changes your sense of urgency. So now, like mechanically, that's what happens. Like when you see races where people don't operate or execute how you been seeing them do it for so long, so comfortably. It's like because now I know I gotta go. So in your mind, everything just gets shortened and tight, and you're like, "Dang, he ain't really open up." Yeah,
Mm.
because he was trying to like go fast. Versus all the times where you just relax and you get through it. And you look at the clock like, nah, eight. Oh man, that was smooth.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like with a start, I mean, I'm a jumper, so, but I know that with the long jump, for instance, if I'm working on an area and my coach is like, right, we need to do this, and I think about that part of it, I'm never getting that part because it's moving quicker than my brain can think about it. You can't think about the
Right.
thing you're doing. I feel like you thinking about it just slows you up. And in the 100, it's
Facts.
even worse. Reacting out of the
Yeah.
blocks, you can't
Yeah.
think about it. It
Yeah.
has to be natural. It has to be second nature. Otherwise, you're that by the time you think everyone's gone. By the time you think, right, I
See,
need to be
okay.
here, or I need to.
But see, okay, so let me kick it to you like this for all the people in chat. Like as a sprinter, and I don't know how many of y'all are actually sprinters, but as a sprinter, like you said, Jay, you're a jumper, so y'all go one at a time. You get to kind of go through your mental processes, and if you do hit it right, obviously it changes something drastically. But as a sprinter, when like I mean, we know who we racing. We've seen the film, we've raced him before, so if a certain guy got to go, and you're by him. Like I think Lane Draw could play a point for people like him because if you're by him, if you're by Christian and he's gone, like yeah, you supposed to naturally, well not naturally, but you're supposed to relax and just execute your race. But when somebody's that far in front of you, man, in a race that ain't
Right.
that far, it does something to you.
Your phases go out the window. Is basically
Yeah,
what you're saying.
you trying to play keep
Okay.
up.
Right. Okay. I can see that.
There
Uh,
was something in the chat a little bit earlier. I don't want to change the subject, but I just wanted to get to this before we. Marvin, someone earlier, I think it was Sapphire Little or someone said, even though you're not going to the Worlds, are we still going to be seeing you in the Diamond Leagues and doing some more competitions after?
Yes, great question. Actually, y'all, I'll be in Memphis next week. Me, Christian, I think Brandon Carnes, Crevant is supposed to be there as well. I just saw an announcement for him. I'll be there next week, and then I'll be in China on the second for that
Mm,
Diamond League, and then I got
mm.
Zagreb on the 10th, I believe. If we still waiting on Brussels, but I would do Zagreb on the 10th of September, and pending I have enough points for the Diamond League, then I would do the Diamond League final.
Ooh,
okay.
do you find it? Are you going to find it difficult to be motivated now that obviously not going to the
Nah,
Worlds?
because
Like you're just,
I
is it
mean,
just
I
money?
still gotta. Nah, I mean, I've still gotta like I can't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't go out
Mm,
and let USA's Poland and Budapest be what I take into like the next season. So I have nothing better
mm-hmm,
to do. Like this is my job. This is my life. Like this is what I get paid to do.
mm,
So I mean, the
mm-hmm,
group is now smaller. A bunch of people shut their season down, so you will get like individualized attention. And what am I gonna
mm,
do from here until with October, November we start up again? That would
mm,
actually do more harm than good. So I need
yeah.
to stay like active, and try to make this, try to see it through.
Mm.
Okay. I We're gonna close the show off, but I wanted to talk about something before we close the show off. Jade, I'm hoping that you have the tweet handy. Uh, Quanisha Burks had put a tweet out yesterday, the day before yesterday, just after
Yeah,
she had won
yeah,
London
I have
Diamond
it.
League. Big her up for that, by the way.
That was
And
live.
She
she
Yeah, I
jumped.
could have
saw.
been she could have
Blaxed.
been rude with it though. She could have done the
She
whole
should have.
run me my money because that check in London was bigger than the check in Bermuda. I know that. You just said run me. She should have said that shit, but she
And the
didn't.
crowd and the event
Yeah, and
itself,
she did it on
everything was
tower. She did it
way
on
bigger.
tower. Everything, yo. She could have. Yeah. So, but she didn't.
First round in your face.
Yeah.
There you go.
But what she did, yeah. But what she did do is go on Twitter and check World Athletics for not hyping her, um, the way they hype a lot of other stars. Do you remember exactly
Yeah, I've
what
got the tweet.
she said?
I've got the tweet. She atted World Athletics and said, "No disrespect, but I won and jumped in capitals a PB of 698, which is wicked. She did a good job with that. Is there a reason I wasn't posted with the other London Diamond League champions? Question mark. Especially as an unsponsored athlete, exposure is appreciated and needed and goes a long way. I just want to be treated equally as well." I,
I
Okay,
go
look.
first. Go ahead. So what's the
Oh, for
question?
real?
What's the
I thought
question?
you wasn't gonna say nothing. Go ahead, Marvin. Yeah, hell yeah.
What's the question? What's the question? What's the question?
What do you think? What do you think of athletes? You know, stating the fact that they're being ignored, and
I
and
think
saying
that
that they shouldn't
okay,
be
so
ignored.
it's a double edged sword though, because as a man, like as a man, you can't do you just got to take it to the chin. But as a woman, like had that been any other of their favorites, they would have been throwing up a post, made a graphic, retweeted it, subtweeted it, all kind of stuff. That's just she's speaking facts. It's just you can't come for the you. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
What she's
Them ain't the people you be
speaking
messing with.
is right. What she's saying is 100% right. But it's giving off, do you know who I am vibes? You know, when you go somewhere and you're like, can I get in? Like, you go to the little club and you're like, yeah, I'm rolling in. And like, yeah, I'm Jade Johnson. And they're like, who's that? Like, you don't know who I am? Like, you don't do that. It's just so ill. I don't know.
Yeah,
I understand what she's saying. She does deserve it. But if they didn't do it, listen, World Athletics though, it's like,
they got their
but
reasons.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should do it. It just feels a bit.
Yeah, what I'm saying though is I understand where she's coming from because I mean it's very apparent. Obviously if you look at you know what gets posted, what gets tweeted, yeah, that's gonna happen. But
But
it's
why?
like you said, you got to take it to the chin. I mean,
But
they
you have
got.
to
I
ask
mean,
yourself. Sorry to cut you, Marvin. You have to ask
no, no,
yourself
no.
in that situation. Why did they not? Like, why did World Athletics forget you? You're clearly not someone that they care about. Why is that? If it was Tara, they'd definitely doing it. If it was Jasmine Sawyer, they're doing it. If it's some of those other girls, why? Some of those other girls, Ivana, um, Voletta, Mahambo, they've achieved crazy stuff on the track, so they have to. They've earned that respect, right?
I
Now,
got you. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Tara, she hasn't won nothing, but she's out there. She's a personality.
Yeah,
Jasmine,
she is, yeah.
she's the girl that everyone likes with the big smile and so cute, and so they will post her. Quenisha needs to understand you haven't really done anything
I got you.
really on the big stage. You've made some finals, but you need to look at your own self and like you need to make yourself known, and then don't let them do that next time.
No, man.
I think certain athletes just need to understand who they are, and some athletes just have outgoing personalities and are very vibrant naturally. You can't force that. But you have to understand that there's value in that. So if people are like that, yeah, they're gonna get some attention. They're gonna get promoted and pushed. If you don't have that, you have to be putting stats up. So she put
It's
stats
just
up,
hard. It's just
but she got to
hard.
continue to put stats up. I feel like that's gonna be her
I mean, it's just
her
hard though
mo.
for. It's harder for. Also she's a nice young girl, so it's just kind of hard to see when you know you beat the people that they marvel over, and then
Right.
you don't get it, and it's like, well, just show me. I want, I just want, a post. And it probably would have
Right.
it wouldn't have been, it probably wouldn't even did numbers like that. But it still would have been a post because the people only really react and like if you look at certain like I started to notice this if you go look at like certain races on YouTube like if you look at like who's like the highlight of the race or who won a race like the views are kind of predicated around that. It is what it is. The engagements are kind of predicated around who the fans know and love and appreciate. Unfortunately, we're in a sport where people only think certain people should and can't run fast or jump far or jump high or throw far or whatever. And then when somebody else like beats them or upsets them, it's not met with the same. It's not met with the same level of like exasperation. And that's just what it is. That's just the sport that we in. Sorry.
I hear you, and you know what? I agree, but I just don't feel like it's a good look. I just feel like
I get
for
you.
the
I'm with you.
person,
I'm with you.
for the person to be put, and then she backed it up the next day when there was no response to Seb Coe and said, Seb Coe, what do you think about this? And I was just like, oh Lord,
She added
oh
Seb.
Lord.
All
She
right.
added Seb.
That was
Hey,
doing
She
too
added
much.
Seb.
But like
She
it
added
was
Seb,
just
yeah.
I just feel like she added Seb.
She's not playing
Q
around,
was
yo.
You know
tight,
what?
man. Hey, Q was tight.
You know
Q
what?
was
She's
hot.
jumping well.
I'm with you though.
She
I'm with you.
she's jumping well.
She
She's
just got to
jumping
just
well.
jump, man. Just
She go get on that
Yeah.
podium. They ain't got no choice but to post you. You get on the podium. They ain't got no choice.
yeah,
but to post you
like
because
just
they got
focus
This is-
on that.
this
Make
is
it
gotta show you,
undeniable.
yeah.
This is
Make
it.
it undeniable, yo.
Exactly. exactly. But I feel like just for future, like just for athletes, it's not. It doesn't look good for the people at home watching it. It's like some people were
I got you.
backing her
That
up.
makes sense.
Yeah, tell them. Yeah, give it to them and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh, but you know, it's just my
It's
opinion.
just like in a relationship. You don't want someone telling you "I love you" because you told them to say it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You never say "I love you." I love you.
I love you.
It's
Yeah,
not the
yeah. I get you.
shit, but it's not the same, yo. It's not the same.
No,
But I feel her though, and I like her. But I just
me
didn't. I
too.
just felt like that was. I just felt like that was. It just wasn't a good look.
Oh man,
You know what I'm
actually
I
saying?
look out for me next week, man. I'm taking my son with me. That was just a little nugget for y'all.
Come to Memphis
Yeah, I'm taking him to Memphis. This is actually his first time ever seeing me run on the road. So
for
how old is
real.
he?
I mean, I said, yeah, 5.
Oh,
Yeah, so he actually
oh, that's
starts.
That's
nice.
He
tight.
starts. He starts kindergarten on 10th of next month. So we'll race and then actually get ready to drop him off to kindergarten. It was just something I just wanted to kind of set him off with.
That's tight.
So
I
has he?
see.
Just before we go, so he's in kindergarten. I don't know what that is. So he's at school at all? Is there any sports
So he's
day?
going
Did
to.
you do
Well, not right
did
now.
the
He's
dad's
in. Well,
race?
right now he's in summer camp, but he was in VPK. He did school for a year to kind of prep him for kindergarten. So we'll be in school. He'll actually go like straight from the weekend, like from Memphis. We're going back to we're coming back home for him to go to school.
Did they have sports
Oh,
day?
nice.
Do they have sports day? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they will.
but they didn't.
Dad's
They didn't
race.
in kindergarten.
No, he was in VPK. It's like I don't know what they
Okay,
call it for
okay.
y'all. It's just like it's basically a daycare for 4-year-olds. Like
So
so
when
they
there is
don't
a
just stay
parents'
home.
race, are you gonna get in it?
Oh, I'm in it. Yes, I'm going to win it. I'm going to reigning champ
For
every
real?
year.
Yeah, eh?
You're reigning champ every year. Field day, that's
You
me.
And
I,
listen,
can, I couldn't wait for that kind of thing.
you bring a
those
blast
parents
with
are
you?
ruthless as well. Don't get it twisted.
Man, them parents, listen, them parents be taking it so serious. Especially the dads that used
Serious.
to play sports. Oh man.
Hell yeah.
No. Mm.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he'll be there, man. I'm excited about that. I'm actually excited
Oh,
to
that's
get
good.
back to racing again, man. I actually, I'll share a story with y'all. So, I was supposed to leave Eugene on Saturday, right? Saturday, I think it was the 8th. So I actually rebooked my flight, and I watched Vernon. I wanted to see Vernon win. I thought Vernon's gonna win the 200. I wanted to see him win the 200. He ended up obviously making the team. So then I get to the airport Sunday, and I got delayed 3 hours. So then I missed my connecting flight in Denver. I had to spend the night in Denver. I'm like, man, like this. So then I leave the next day on Monday, and I get home around like 6:30 because I had like a layover or whatever. And then we practice Tuesday. I get on the plane Wednesday to head to Poland. When I tell you, listen, I'm so happy to just be home, train, and like have some level of like stability because I didn't know it was gonna be that tight of a turnaround. But I think that I know that the rest of this season gonna be much better than what I've been putting out. Just
Mm.
because of
And I
just
feel
because
like,
you
to
get
be
to that.
honest, sorry, I was going to say, and to be honest, there's nothing to lose now. So you can just be free and just run. One of those
Yeah.
ones, like sometimes, okay, it sucks that you didn't make the worlds, but to be really honest, all the pressures that come with trying to make the worlds, and then when you get to the worlds and it's like a lot of pressure, right? But now you haven't got that. So actually, you can actually just run out the rest of your
Run,
season,
yeah. Just,
put all that training into practice, and then get ready for next year.
exactly. That's exactly what I intend on doing. It's just like 2021, same thing. Missed the team, came back, ran a couple fast races, just kind of set myself up for next year. Next year is most important. Now, if this happened last year or next year, I would be beside myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I can't say that much.
Mm-hmm.
But you already got that check, so you're cool. Hey, if I feel you, dog. It's all good, man.
Mm.
You're good. You're all right, man. Yo, let the man them just get a little bit of the money, dog. Just cool, yo.
Yeah, no, I actually I saw Crevant actually at the we went to like a little pancake house the next day after the race. I saw him walk in or whatever. And I went up to him and I'm like, I listen, I know, I know what it feels
I
like.
like him, yo.
I know, yeah, yeah. He's quiet. He don't bother nobody, man. Just come in and
I
run
don't know if people are
when he
intimidated
needs
by
to.
him though. I don't think the rest of the world's intimidated. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to do something. He's gonna have to show, improve. I think a lot of people feel like the U.S. contingent is kind of weak this year. I don't think that anyone's intimidated by anybody.
Well, nobody's
Dude,
done anything like
They can't
every.
deny Christian because Christian has done some work already, and Fred has done some work already. But they just don't look. They look vulnerable, especially with Cravant
Yeah, I
beating
mean the whole our whole setup this year is not, it was not that of what we've been putting out the last couple of years. Because once USA champs roll around, everybody's watching, everybody sees the times because it's like watching a major championship anyway. So you see the time and you're like, okay, well, the Americans are ready. Obviously last year, we came in with like the top three fastest times. So it was like, okay, if they do this again, like we know it could be a nightmare. Do that happen all the time? No, but this time, shit, the rest of the world running the same times we is. So the American don't even have the world leading time right now. So, I mean, there's that. And we usually get it back by like USA championships.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like the men's 100 is a bit of an bit feels a little bit off. Everyone, I put that out the other day, and everyone's like, "Well, no, they've run this, they've run that," and I'm just like, it just doesn't feel as exciting this
Because
year
it's
as
It
well.
really
so
You know?
doesn't.
like okay, so think about we don't also have like we no longer have the 400 guy coming down to the 100 storyline like everybody's used to that already. Now they just want to see him dominate. But like we just saw a 34-year-old woman win her first USA title at 34 after three kids. Like that in itself is just
Yeah, that was
incredible. And then
madness.
the rest of the field, the field that she had to beat, like all of these women are on top of their game.
Mm,
Everybody's running. They handing out 12 threes like it's government cheese. Like
crazy.
we used to see 12 3 and be like, ooh, okay, she's running. And now
Yeah.
everybody's running
You see
12
12
3.
5 and be like, "Oh,
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
it's really
everybody's running,
weird.
be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but for us, because you don't see every dude running 9-7, it's like, it's not as it's not as entertaining because 9-9 and 9-7 is there's two different atmospheres. So it's like
you know what? I think
until we get to that realm, then it's gonna be kind of hard for us as because nobody like Anson always says nobody's dominating. Like everybody's had their run, but nobody's really like this year. It hasn't been solidified who's the absolute best, like bar none.
And I think on Twitter there's a guy called Certified Chaos, and I think it was either him or someone else, someone called Ken. I can't remember, but we were messaging. I messaged that, and then they said, and I really think this is true. And I know we've spoken about this before, but I feel like without the Olympic champion racing, it just it's like being going head to head against everyone. I feel like it just makes the event a little bit less exciting
I mean, that
as
kind of
well. Like
solidifies
you
you as
need
that dude,
the
and
Olympic
then
champion.
you get
Yeah, you need the Olympic champion who then races against everyone, whether he gets beat, whether he doesn't. But everyone's at the top. He hasn't raced, so I feel like it just is. It's a bit in the wind a little bit. But we'll have a
I can
new
see
one
that. I
next
can see
year.
that.
So we'll have a new
Yeah,
one maybe next year.
it's
So
important for the person who gets it to be
You gotta retain. You
active.
gotta like defend it. It's like boxing. You gotta defend the title at some point. Like you gotta,
yeah,
And it's a
especially on a
big
major level.
responsibility to carry the sport too. That spot's important, It ain't like no win it and chill type of situation, Like you gotta be a lot comes with that, man. A lot comes with that.
I mean, like I said, the only other thing that could like like only thing that could override like all of this is if we just saw 9-7s everywhere. Like if we saw somebody run
yeah,
12-30 or 12-2 everywhere, we be the same. We get the same level of love because, like I said, once Fred broke into like that 9-7, everybody's looking at the clock like, okay, what is he gonna do? Can he break the American record? This, that, and third. American record watch.
Hmm.
Record watch. Not understanding how fast 969 is. But when we get back to that as in the men's 100, then it will be more exciting because the women's 100 is still very exciting. Like there's no
yeah,
clear favorite, but you got three women, three, four, five women running 10-8s and 10-7s like it ain't nothing. So at least we know when they step on the track, we getting a fast time.
yeah,
Hmm.
and some exciting kind of rivalries and you don't know
Yeah.
and you don't know different ones. I feel like the women's 100 at the moment for the last few years, but definitely feel like this year
They've
it's
been carrying the
come.
mantle for a while. Man. The women's side of the
Yeah,
They're
sport
doing
have
their
been
thing.
carrying the mantle for a
yeah,
really long time now. Like it's we need them.
Yeah, man. I mean, it'll come back around. I got confidence in you, Marvin. Marvin
So I
Bracy
appreciate that,
Williams.
man.
next
Appreciate that.
year, next year we're excited.
That's so long. I see
I
people.
Long, but
know,
it'll
I see
sneak up
people.
on you. It'll sneak up on you
Listen,
though.
I
It'll
know.
sneak up on you.
Listen, listen. It happened like that this year. Like I remember being in like January. Like damn, I'm seeing people run indoors. Like I just want to be outside. I want to race already. And then before you know it, it was May. I was like, huh?
Crazy.
USA is next month.
Crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be having the World Championships in what? It's 25. 24 days now. That's a
Mm.
ballpark, but it's something like that. Um, so keep an eye out for some content coming out pertaining to that. We won't be having a show next week. I'm on the road. I was trying to make it happen. It's you know what? We're just gonna take a week off. We got a lot of content coming. Yo, I got a lot of content from the London Diamond League. So keep an eye out
Mm.
for that. We got this episode with Marvin. We got another episode last week that we did with Aaron Brown, who is looking to get his fifth Canadian national championship in a row.
Mm.
This one, fifth, and that's not only when Andre didn't run. He's actually beaten Andre at the championship. I think it's a big deal. I think we should start taking national championships more seriously and not just look at it like a qualifying race. I think being national champion is a big deal, yo. I think it's a big deal. No?
Well, it
Yeah?
also
No?
depends. Like it
Yeah?
kind of depends on where you at.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because
Well, I think
okay,
anywhere.
when we look at the Canadian trials, we like okay, it's Aaron or Drake every year since like
Hmm.
2013 is like it's Aaron. Okay, here goes Drake, and now it's either Aaron, Drake. Now if somebody else snuck up in there and won it, that'd be a completely different ball game. But like the Jamaicans, like they got a bunch of people that can make the team. Even out of UK coming up, they got it's like they got some runners. So it's like it depends on like where
Mm.
you are. But the American Championship in itself is the Olympics.
Mm.
Yeah.
Pretty much the top
I
Um,
at the
also.
American Championships probably could have won the Olympics
Mm.
yeah.
almost every year. Almost. Trey ran what
Yeah.
980 to win. If he 980 won the Olympics,
Mm.
Right. Right.
just
Well,
I'm gonna say I feel like why are Canada doing it so late? Like they should have done it with everyone else. It just feels like what the trials is it's near the world champs. Like everyone's past that. It's like we're
I
in
mean,
world champ
it's
mode and they haven't
fair.
even done their trials.
It's a fair assessment to say that you can maintain your peak the closer it is to the championships. Might be the better option. Canadians tend to, be pretty smart. Don't you think, guys? Guys?
lucky.
Guys?
He's just born
Anyone?
north of the border, man.
Respect. Keep an eye out for the content I spoke to you about. Trust me, it's a lot of good content, really good content from Grant Holloway, got Ryan Krauser. I spoke to Lance Brahman. I spoke to Ronaldo Nehemiah. Like we did some
Lance,
really unique interviews. Yeah, and
Probably my dude.
some
Some
strong
great people, man.
content. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and follow the Track and Field Network. Go ahead and follow Marvin Bracy Williams. Go ahead and follow Jade Johnson. Very active on Twitter. Doesn't have Instagram. Very active on Twitter. Very, very active on Twitter. Unconventional Voice of Track and Field on Twitter and also on YouTube at Unconventional Productions. And we are live on the Track and Field Network on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Oh, this? It's just heartbreak.run. Go ahead and get your running apparel for all your running needs. I know y'all are trying to get to that line faster.
I'm getting my
Get what you
Kipyegons,
need.
mate.
Yeah, go get those Kipyegons, yo. Big up, everybody. No gunshots this week, but you got them gunshots in spirit. Big up, everybody, all day. Sprint Culture Vultures. And remember, life is a race. Focus on your lane and relax. Bang, 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 reggae horn. Respect, everybody. Respect, Marvin. Respect, Jade. We out, yo. Peace.
Do we just